Okay. Okay, thank you, Miigwech and the Kid, for being here. It's an honor for this agreement that's going to be signed here. But I'm going to open up with a very short prayer. Okay. Miigwech and the Kid Kijem and Toma and Imamo Gabo Yang, Kibin Shangoma, we Cheshakobi got Tigagijak, Kichigagon and Chiminos Sayang, you were going Gia, Miigwech the Regijem and Toma.
Thank you, John. Thank you. Appreciate it, my friend.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for starting us off in a good way. Very much appreciated. And thanks, everyone, for joining us here today. My name is Will Bauma. I am the Parliamentary Assistant to the Minister of Indigenous Affairs and First Nations Economic Reconciliation. I am also the MPP for Brantford and Brant, which includes 6 nations of the Grand River and Mississaugas of the Credit. I will be your MC today. It's important to acknowledge that we are meeting on the traditional territory of many nations, including the Mississaugas of the Credit, the Anishinaabe, the Chippewa, the Haudenosaunee, and the Wendat peoples. This land has long been a place of connection and collaboration and continues to be the home of many diverse Indigenous peoples. Today's announcement recognizes a tremendous first step forward in Ontario's partnership with Aroland First Nations. I am pleased to have Premier Doug Ford with us, along with Greg Rickford, Minister of Indigenous Affairs and First Nations Economic Reconciliation, and George Peary, Minister of Mines. We are honoured to be sharing the ceremony with Chief Sonny Gagnon, as well as councillors and community members from Aroland First Nation. So then we'll hear remarks from Minister Rickford, Chief Gagnon, and then Premier Ford before signing this historic agreement. And so I would now like to ask my friend and colleague, Honourable Greg Rickford, Minister of Indigenous Affairs and First Nations Economic Reconciliation, to share some remarks. Minister.
Well, how about this amazing community, Aroland First Nation? It is about that. It's a celebration of what this government has been working on for the past 6 years under the leadership of the Premier, the work of our Cabinet and our caucus colleagues. We put an emphasis on ensuring that First Nations community were a central feature as we build Northern Ontario, in fact, writ large, the entire province for many of the First Nations communities in Southern Ontario. In Northern Ontario, the challenges can seem daunting, but by working together and building consensus, our communities are moving forward quickly to build the kind of legacy infrastructure that will be reflected in the years to come, in fact, in many instances very soon, the kind of shared prosperity, the name of this agreement today, that will put communities in an overall better place. The communities north of Aroland First Nations are still on diesel generation, while isolated communities in the northeast and in the northwest have electrification. There is no road access, and we already know that Aroland First Nation, of course, and the surrounding communities have endured brittle infrastructure for a long time, and that includes the municipality of Greenstone. So with the leadership of this Premier and Chief Sonny Gagnon and his chief and council that are with us here today and others, we have built out an agreement that we can celebrate and move forward. It represents an amazing opportunity, and the work leading up to this reflects partnerships not just with Aroland First Nations, but a number of First Nations communities in the Greenstone area, the traditional territories of no less than 5 First Nations communities. We signed letters of confirmation with Kanogamisis Investment Corporation and Minodum Development. These represent First Nations owned and operated businesses who are there to promote growth and development in the Greenstone area. This concluded with $2 million to the Northern Ontario Heritage Fund for Minodum's McGeezy Plaza Rest Stop. This is literally a large lot that will have commercial activities on it just as you turn off the Trans-Canada and head north. $1.9 million for skills training and job preparedness. This was a top priority for all of the chiefs in the area, as well preemptively as significant activities to fortify Highway 584 and Highway 11 the infrastructure that leads into the gateway into Northern Ontario, a number of isolated communities, and of course, the Ring of Fire. In fact, we had the pleasure of returning to Greenstone a couple of times, Premier, and we appreciate his presence there, and we were able to complete much of the road work so that we can get started on some of the pieces that are reflected here today. So I want to thank everybody for being here today. This is a historic day in no uncertain terms as we build consensus and form partnerships with communities. More than 6 months ago, the Premier made it very clear. He said, Greg, First Nations economic reconciliation is going to be added to your title so that we fairly reflect that moving forward, as we had been building up to, First Nation communities are full partners in what could be prosperity for the entire province of Ontario. So I want to thank you for the honour of being involved in this, Sonny, and of course, Premier, for your confidence in putting this, helping put this together. Thank you, and miigwech.
Thank you.
Thank you, Minister. Much appreciated. And now I would like to turn over the floor to Chief Sonny Gagnon to make a few remarks. Chief, good to see you today.
Thank you. I gotta get my land legs back. Yeah, good morning, everybody. And just want to acknowledge the prayer that my councillor, Joe Baxter, made, and acknowledge my council that came with me on this, I guess you would call it a historic day. And, just, acknowledge the ministers and the Premier behind me. And also I want to just acknowledge my membership of Aroland, the members that asked, that pushed us to, gave us that mandate to make today happen. And what we're talking about is, the road that we've, I just want to go back history, where former Chief Eli Monias, back about 10 years ago, we shook hands and said that we're going to build you a road, with or without the government. And today, I really want to emphasize to him that his wishes are coming into fruition. He suffered a major stroke. He almost lost his life, and but he communicates still. So I'm really, really happy that this is happening and that he is alive to witness this today. But again, this is all about moving forward. My community, I asked them yesterday, Sunday we had a meeting to have this thing ratified because we were really running late on, a little, crossing the T's and dotting the I's. But, we did this because we, in the past, I was chief for 10 years ago. And Aroland is pro-development. We wanted to move on with development, But again, politics, played its role and everything went stagnant. But now we have the opportunity with my members, my community, to attain, the skills that we need to be self-sustaining, to make Aroland, get off what we're on, always on, government funding and all that. This will give us an opportunity to move forward, building the road to Martin Falls. I've been asked many times, are you, giving our resources away? And I keep telling them, this is only for the Martin Falls Road, this agreement. Ring of Fire will come when the time comes. But again, I'm very encouraged, I'm very excited, and I think we're going to be looking at a lot of opportunities for my community to build what we need to build, to educate the children we need to educate, to promote health, proper health, and also to try and work with the drug issues we have in our community. And it's hard when you're when you come from a small community and be plagued with drug issues. So again, like I'm very, very, kind of overwhelmed by what's happening, and we'll see where this takes us. If it's something that's going to go beyond, we'll be there to talk. But for now, I think Martin Falls will be very happy that we'll be building their all-weather road to their community. And also, we're looking at other projects that are within this agreement that will make Aroland, sustain itself, for our kids, and on our future. So with that, I'm going to stop there and turn it over to the Premier. I just got to advise you, I got a difficulty standing in one spot there, so I might need some cane there or something. Give me a chair.
Thank you, Chief. I really appreciate those good words. And I would now like to turn it over to our Premier, the Honourable Doug Ford.
Thank you. Thank you, Will. Well, first of all, thank you, Chief, and I want to thank your community, your councillors, and that came with you, and good morning, everyone. It's great to be here alongside Minister Rickford, Minister Peary, and Will Boma, my Parliamentary Assistant for Intergovernmental Affairs, and Parliamentary Assistant to the Minister of Indigenous Affairs and First Nations Economic Reconciliation. Before I begin, I want to give a big welcome to Chief Sonny and all the representatives from Aroland First Nation. Thank you. Over the past couple of months, I've had the opportunity to work closely with Chief Sonny. The Aroland community is very lucky to have a leader with his vision and his dedication to the economic and social well-being of his people. Last March, just a little over a year ago, Chief Sonny and I sat down and we shook hands and agreed to get the deal done. And I'll never forget that day, Chief. We were in my office and we literally shook hands. And that handshake made everything an opportunity to move forward. It meant everything to me, and I know with the Chief too, and it's amazing when you sit down, you look into each other's eyes and you shake a hand, that's a deal. And this is an honourable man standing behind me right now, and I really appreciate it, everything, Sonny. Today, I'm so proud to stand with you to celebrate this historic milestone. We got it done. First, in June 2024, we signed an unprecedented agreement with the Aroland First Nation and 3 other First Nations in the Greenstone area. As Minister Rickford mentioned, this renewed partnership is a cornerstone for long-term growth and prosperity in Northern Ontario. The agreement provides critical funding to help drive economic development, build and upgrade roads, improve access to critical mineral and resource development opportunities, and connect First Nations communities to essential services in the Greenstone region. Today, I'm thrilled to provide details of another historic step forward, a new shared prosperity agreement between the Government of Ontario and Aroland First Nation. This agreement, this partnership, means that for the first time in Ontario's history, we have agreements in place to build roads along the entire route to the Ring of Fire. This is a historic step forward, and it's thanks to the partnership of Chief Sonny, of Aroland First Nation, and other critical partners across Northern Ontario. This agreement builds on the last year's commitment and includes a $70 million investment to advance the route and design planning of the Greenstone electricity transmission line, connecting more northern communities to Ontario's clean and reliable power grid. We're investing $20 million for community infrastructure projects that support businesses, developments right along that route, and to boost community preparedness to participate in economic activities related to mineral development in the region. We're going to work with Aroland and other neighboring First Nations as part of a resource revenue sharing table to establish a protocol on sharing the economic benefits of forestry and mining operations. This agreement includes the ongoing work towards a road advisory body to support the development and upgrade of new roads connecting Highway 643 to the Ring of Fire. And it includes $2.3 million to assist Aroland with developing and implementing their comprehensive community plan, which includes support for much-needed road upgrades. Friends, since day one, our government has been dedicated to building meaningful partnerships with First Nations in Ontario, true partnerships that put First Nations leaders in the driver's seat to help ensure their communities have the same access to critical services and can share in the same economic opportunities as every other community in the province. This historic agreement is going to help strengthen Aroland First Nation. It's going to better connect First Nations and northern communities to the province's highway network and improve year-round access to everyday essentials that we take for granted, like food, fuel, and healthcare. It's going to help attract new investments and new jobs for First Nations and northern workers. And it's another major step towards unlocking the economic potential of our province's critical minerals in the Ring of Fire. Friends, with the threats we're seeing south of the border, threats of tariffs and economic force, it's never been more important for Ontario and Canada to do everything we can to protect our workers and protect our economy. We're entering into a period of unprecedented economic risk and lengthy negotiations against President Trump and with the federal government and other provinces. Responding to this challenge will demand enormous action, including doing everything possible to keep our economy competitive. Building these roads, unlocking the Ring of Fire region with its abundant supply of critical minerals and limitless economic opportunity is how we protect Ontario's workers and our economy. Chief Sonny, Aroland community leaders, thank you so much for your partnership and your friendship. Thank you all for joining us, and may God bless the people of Ontario. Thank you.
We will now open the floor for questions.
Questions right now?
Yes.
Very good. Thank you.
We will now open the floor for questions from the media. Please come to the mic and state your name and outlet. Just a reminder, it's one question and one follow-up.
That's great.
Hi there, Alan Hale from the Trillium.
Hi.
I have a question for Chief Gagnon, actually.
Yes.
Chief, the Premier has mentioned multiple times that you, I guess jokingly, offered to hop on the bulldozer with him to the Ring of Fire. And these bulldozer comments don't seem to sit well with your fellow chiefs. The Neskantaga chief, Chris Munius, was on APTN last week where he said that the bulldozer comments were a threat. I was wondering if this deal means that you are now on the bulldozer with the Premier, and will these roads be built without the agreement of all Mattawa First Nations, including Neskantaga?
Yeah, well, you know what, this was, it was between me and him, this joke, and it was never ever meant to go out to any other chiefs. And like I said in my opening of my statement here, you know, the Ring of Fire is somewhere in the sight far ahead. You know, we're only talking the Martin Paul's Community Access Road, and that's where it ends. It's not leading to any Ring of Fire unless the other communities are in favor of moving the project forward.
Thank you. I have a question for the Premier.
Yes.
Mr. Premier, Newmarket Today is reporting today that Dawn Gallagher Murphy is being accused by multiple former employees of workplace harassment. She has already settled one harassment complaint that was made to the Labour Board. Do you still support her as the candidate for Newmarket Aurora?
Well, that's the first I've heard about this, and we always act professionally. We always respect our employees. And to answer your question, I do support Dawn. She does incredible work within our community.
Hey, Premier, Liam Casey with the Canadian Press.
Hi, Liam.
You said you need the strongest mandate in history to follow through with your plan to deal with Trump.
Yes.
But what happens if the people decide to give you a weaker mandate?
Well, that's going to be up to the people. They're going to have a choice. Do they want a leader that's going to protect jobs, protect the people's livelihoods, protect businesses, protect communities? That's what people are going to have to decide, and that's why we'll be going to the people.
You said that you can campaign and do the work of Premier at the same time, but should you?
Oh, absolutely. I'm the Premier, and I'm going to work hard, which I have been, 18 hours a day, to make sure our province is prosperous and we have economic development, and make sure we have a loud voice when we're negotiating against these tariffs. Folks, I can't stress enough how devastating these tariffs will be on Ontario families, on Ontario workers. And I'm going to stand beside you, I'm going to support you, and I'll spare no expense to make sure I protect you.
Hey, good morning, Premier. Colin DeMello from Global News. It's my understanding that Cabinet had a meeting this morning,
yes,
and that during that meeting, Cabinet had deliberated on an economic action plan. Can you tell us what was in that plan, and did you pass it?
Well, thank you for that, and I'm glad that you got that information real quick. But I don't know. I got to start checking. I got to check when the place is wired. But anyways, yes, I'm not denying that we do have a strong economic action plan, which we'll be rolling out over the period of the next 28 days. But it's all about protecting the people of Ontario in every aspect, in every single sector.
Thank you. So help Ontarians understand this. So your Cabinet has already passed an economic action plan, but you are now about to trigger an election asking people for support to support an economic action plan. How does that work? Yeah. And what is in that plan? Can you break it down for us?
I can't say we triggered that. First of all, we want to move forward and make sure that we give certainty. Right now, President Trump has put uncertainty to every single Canadian, a lot of other countries around the world. And this isn't going to happen overnight. May not happen February 1st. I'm sure something's coming. But this is going to be a battle for the next 4 years. And I want to make sure that I have a strong mandate to outlast President Trump. And again, I can't stress this enough, how CEOs in our country are concerned, which we've been meeting with, but it's really a Team Canada approach. All premiers are working together collaboratively. I'll be going on a COF meeting right after I leave here during the day, and we're just going to be united to protect Canadians and Ontarians' jobs.
Hi, Premier. Jeff Gray, Globe and Mail.
Hi, Jeff.
I just want to follow up on that.
Yes.
This tariff bailout package that you have, will it require legislative approval? So you need to have the House in session, or is it something you can do without the House meeting?
Well, we have that planned. It's a very strong plan. It's a very large plan, but we will be rolling it out. And we have to be flexible, Jeff, in this plan. Yourselves or myself or the premiers and even some elected officials down in the U.S., not sure what President Trump's going to throw at us, but we have to be prepared. We have to have a strong plan, not just provincially, federally as well. And I'm just glad to tell the people of Ontario and Canada, everyone's working together, premiers, CEO of the largest companies out there, unions, and everyone else in different sectors. So this is a Team Canada approach.
But Premier, just to clarify, will you be able to act and help shore up Ontario against the tariffs, whatever it is, bailout money, between now and Election Day? Will you be able to do that or not?
Yeah, we're going to, again, we don't know, Jeff, what President Trump's going to throw at us, but I can tell you we'll be a strong voice at the table. We're going to be there representing Ontario and, in return, working with all premiers to represent Canada. We're a proud country, and this is a time to stand united and show how proud Canadians are. We're resilient. Unlike other countries around the world, we have resilient people. We have the brightest people in the world, and we're a very, very powerful country.
Hey, Premier. Barbara with Queen's Park Briefing.
Hi, Barbara.
I just wanted to ask you, in December you said that you would pass legislation to give municipalities more powers to tackle the encampments, the homeless encampments. But then recently, Minister of Housing, Paul Calandra, just said that he was hopeful he wouldn't have to pass the bill. And you're also calling an election soon. So what is happening to this bill, and is this something your government still want to put forward?
Well, we are going to move forward, and Minister Calandra has done an incredible job putting together. This is going to give the tools that municipalities need to move these encampments, but not move them, giving them proper shelter, proper opportunities. That's our goal, and support these people, get them back on their feet, get them out there finding a job and working and contributing back to society.
Sorry, last question is still on housing. And so last time voters went to the polls, the housing crisis was a key election issue. But now housing starts are way below your own government goal. So how do you explain that to voters, and why should people trust you with another mandate to resolve this issue?
Well, first of all, prior to a little bit of the slowdown, the interest rates, we set records in rental units and housing. We're throwing billions of dollars supporting communities, no matter if it's the water infrastructure or the BFF fund, making sure that we set targets for communities. But I can tell you, I'm going to protect Ontarians. I'm going to make sure that we accelerate approvals, getting houses built, and working with municipalities to make sure we meet those goals.
Hi, Premier. Mike Crawley from CBC News.
Hi, Mike.
In the last election campaign, your slogan was "Get it done," and right after you won the election, you told a news conference, "We are going to make sure we keep every single promise." So, what exactly have you got done in the 2.5 years since then, and what are the things that you didn't get done that you said you were going to do, and can you explain why not?
First of all, thank you for that question. If you got 2.5 hours, I'll sit down and tell you everything we got done, from the economic development, attracting over $70 billion of new investment, creating the opportunity for 850,000 people to bring home a paycheck that never received a paycheck close to 7 years ago. We've brought certainty to companies around the world that if you come to Ontario and you invest, we're going to cut the red tape and the regulations and create that environment and conditions for companies to come here and thrive and prosper and grow. And when companies thrive, prosper and grow, so do the people. And just again, there's over 850,000 more people with a paycheck that can pay rent, pay a mortgage, put food on their table that they didn't have close to 7 years ago.
Okay, so let's just pick one, which was you promised to keep housing costs down, and you said that Ontario would build 1.5 million new homes over the next 10 years.
That's right.
You haven't got that done. Why not?
Well, because our 10 years isn't up, Mike. We're just a few years into it. We're going to continue making it attractive for companies to invest, builders to build, municipalities to get approvals as quickly as possible, and we're going to work collaboratively with all three levels of government to get that done.
Hi, Premier. Beatrice Faisman, CP24. We've learned that the federal government's preparing to roll out a pretty sizable stimulus package. It would look like a pandemic-style bailout if warranted. Why do you still need a mandate if the feds are planning on taking action?
Well, it's no different than the pandemic. It's not about one level of government. It's about all three levels of government working collaboratively with our partners in the private sector, partners in the public sector, partners with unions, making sure that we invest in the infrastructure. One level of government can't do it alone. I've been in close communications with Minister LeBlanc and the federal government, and we were collaboratively working together.
Can you tell Ontarians, Premier, why this election is not opportunistic?
Well, what I'll tell the people of Ontario, we're going to see an unprecedented attack to our families, to our businesses, to our communities, something that we've never seen in the history of the country, getting economically attacked by the largest country in the world, the most powerful person in the world when it comes to President Trump. And we're going to be there for them. We're going to support the people. We're going to protect the people, protect their jobs, protect communities, protect businesses, just like we did during the pandemic. But this is going to be more of an impact. The pandemic was natural around the world. This is a man targeting to attack and take every business out of Ontario, out of Canada, and try to bring it to the United States. And I'll do whatever it takes to protect the people of Ontario.
This will be the last reporter.
Thank you.
Hi, Premier. We have a Abacus poll this morning in the Star that shows your party well ahead of the Liberals and the New Democrats. But the poll also shows that 48% of Ontarians are concerned or unhappy, actually. That's the word that the pollster used or put to the respondents. They're unhappy with an early election that's costing at least $150 million and maybe $175 million. Yeah. Are you rolling the dice by having this early election?
No, I feel, Rob, and thank you for that. I didn't see that poll. What are the numbers on that poll until I know?
The Tories are at 47, the Liberals are at 24, the New Democrats are at 19, and the Greens are at 7. Well, you just wanted me to say that for TV.
Well, and certain things you ask me, you want me to say. But anyways, the feeling's mutual. Yeah. But in saying that, we need that strong mandate for the people of Ontario. They understand who will lead this province over the next 4 years. Who has a voice for the people and protect companies and protect livelihoods. And there's only one choice, that's the PC government. We've proved it. We're going to make sure that we protect every single person in Ontario. And we'll be there, and we'll be putting our fully costed platform out throughout the campaign. But I appreciate the poll there. And I always say, my favorite saying is, no matter if they're good or if they're bad, polls are for dogs. The only poll that counts is on Election Day.
So you're not concerned, though, that you may be rolling the dice. I mean, you have a healthy majority. You have a healthy majority for another 15 months. What happens to what Liam asked earlier? Let's say you have a reduced majority even. Are you sending a signal to Donald Trump and others that you are in a weaker position for Ontario?
Well, what I can say is it's going to be up to the people to decide if they want strong leadership moving forward, to continue growing our economy, protect their families, protect their jobs, or go back to the dark days and the loom and gloom of the Liberal and NDP government that chased 300,000 jobs out of our province, raised your taxes, added more red tape and regulations. And really, I called it when I went to government in 2018. I'm a private sector business person. I've walked into a bankrupt company, and we've done tremendous changes to protect people and their livelihoods.